Assalamu alaikum, Muhammad. How are you doing?
Walaikum salam, ma'am. Alhamdulillah. How are you, ma'am?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine too. So let's start today's session. We were understanding system analysis and design. So today we will cover two main topics of this system analysis and design. First, we will explain how system analysis can be influential in the redesign of the system. Like we will see what are the things that are really influential in the redesigning, and what are the things that we will need to perform in this overall redesigning process. And secondly, we will discuss different design methods and methodologies to analyze the system. Here we have four main methodologies that are really good and efficiently working. Basically, in these methodologies, we do have multiple kind of models that we have already learned in the previous session, the waterfall and the other ones as well. So we will discuss these methods with complete description. So basically, when we talk about the influence of redesigning a system, then there are multiple things that we need to look after first. So, in today's increasingly competitive marketplace, when we talk about businesses, there are multiple competitors of a single market to definitely with the multiple people. When we are having an organization, we are having multiple opportunities to differentiate our business from others. So, this differentiation basically is sought with the goal of maximizing corporate profitability. The ultimate goal of every organization is to get the maximum profit and ultimately shareholders' wealth. Definitely, one of the many ways organizations are approaching these goals is through the use of a concept called system redesigning. Whenever we see that the some of the new technologies are arriving, and definitely they are taking place of the previous ones, we need to adapt these technologies that are coming new because of the high competition. Same as if we are talking about the businesses do need to redesign their overall business or the system they are working on. What is the actual goal of getting a system redesigning? Yes, Abdullah.
I think
Yes,
to
yes, Mohammed.
improve the old system or to correct some errors in the old system.
Okay, good, very good. So, basically, Muhammad has added a very good point. We can improve our system. But what I was expecting from your side was to maximize our corporate profitability.
Ma'am, it also could be uh, improving user experiences for user.
Definitely, definitely. When we redesign our system, we make every single change to our system that can help us to maximize our profitability, and user experience is also one of the most important factor of any system or any business, because if your user are happy with your overall services, they will definitely work with you and ultimately you will get the higher level of profit. Very good. So in redesigning, we are having two factors: the rethinking and the radical design of business processes. When we are having a good design and we are having a great planning, then we can redesign our system properly and more efficiently. So we can say that these are the fundamentals to achieve the improvements in critical contemporary measures of performance. And what are the contemporary and critical measures of performance? Definitely the cost, quality, service, and the speed. These are the factors that are working for our business, for our systems improvement and efficiency. We need to manage all these things to improve our systems working. Is it true? Or do you know any other point that is also really important for the improvement of a system? Like cost, quality, service, and speed. Do you think that these are the enough like parameters to see?
Yes, ma'am. I think we can add to it. We can add to this the security as well.
Security. Yes, it is also a good factor. Good one. Yes, anyone else who can add something else here? The redesigning process for overall system or a business process. Whenever we need to redesign the system, we will see what is the role of system analysis and design here in the redesigning of a system. So I was just discussing some of the main point of redesigning, like what are the things that are really needed. So rethinking and radical design are the fundamentals to improve our business overall quality. So we are having some measures of performance here. I have added 4 points: cost, quality, service, and speed. And Muhammad has also added a very important factor, that is security. So I was just asking you people, is there any other point that you want to add here?
No, ma'am, I can't think of any.
Okay, so let's move forward. Process redesigning, basically, it is an integrated and multi-phase process. There are multiple phases that we need to perform in overall process, which can carry many costs. Basically, if we are talking about cost, it is not only the money that we are talking about. There are also other factors that are our main assets. So time is one of those. So thus it is very important to select the team participants wisely. If you are making a team who will work on the redesigning of the process, definitely if you are having a system analyst who will analyze your overall system and the needs and the requirement, then he will give you the proper need of a team. So you need to choose that team wisely, as well as choosing a sound methodology. And what is the role of methodology here? Definitely, if you are having a good methodology that is working as per or according the needs of our business, it will be helpful. Otherwise it will be very disturbing for our overall business, because we may fall from the point where we were existing at the time of redesigning. So they all should contain a couple common characteristics. What are the things that needs to be in every team are: firstly, every team should contain members of varied background. There must be different experiences that they are having. They should not only be IT professionals or the only the business professionals. Definitely, when we are running a business, we need multiple experiences in our team who will work with their experience or with their background to maximize the overall productivity of our system. So, secondly, while we all know that there is no size for a group or the people or the team who will work for the redesigning process, but definitely if we are having it is imperative to have the proper number of individuals for the task at hand. But how we will get that? Like, how we can understand that how many people are needed for the redesigning process of our business? Yes, Muhammad. How can we understand the number of people that are needed for our team?
First, we should, I think, we should see what kind of skills are needed to solve to do the redesigning. Is the first thing. Second thing is it depends on if we have good experienced people, then a few is enough. If we don't have good experienced people, then we need more people.
Okay. So
That's all.
to make
That's
it
all.
easy, if we are having a system analyst who will be working for us, it will be very easy for us to get the number of people who are needed for the redesigning process, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Actually, so to make a link, I have just asked the question to make a link between the role of system analysis and designing here. This is the way the system analyst helps us to understand the overall need of our system to create the team for the redesigning process. Definitely, we can have people from our own organization, and we can outsource people as well. So when we will get our needs, we can easily make the requirements document that will help us to understand which kind of skills are needed. Then the system analyst will help us to create the list and to arrange all the people who are needed. If they are from our organization, we can manage their team. Otherwise, we can outsource the people as well. Although it is an easy task that but it is just easy in theory. If we are talking about practice, it is a very difficult step to choose a team, and to choose a team wisely that will actually work for your organization's redesigning. So, how can we initiate the process of redesigning a system as a system analyst? Now, we are going to see all the things that will be helpful for a system analyst to to create or to start the process of redesigning. So, all of you need to be to behave or to think like an system analyst, and we will discuss like what you will do if you are doing a specific step that we are going to explain. So, first one is requirement elicitation. So, if we are talking about requirement elicitation, it is a structured and detailed method for determining all relevant stakeholders' definition of better, like the things that they need to be improved in their system or in their overall organization, is the is basically concerned with the better what they are expecting in their system. So it is more than simply asking what are the most important features of the product. Definitely, if we are changing or redesigning our system from the previous one to new one, definitely there are multiple things that we need to redesign. There is not only the features that are the specifically part of the product that they are selling or they are working on. So if we are talking about IT field, there are multiple technologies. We cannot say that we will only see the features of a technology that are needed for our organization. We need to see the cost, the overall cost of the technology as well, and the team that we are having, or what are the things that are needed to be changed in our team for the sake of understanding the new technology. So all the other factors also needed to be like look after before making our requirement elicitation document. So stakeholders frequently have ideas about what they want, and the needs are basically floating in the back of their mind as well. But these may not be clear even to themselves as well. Sometimes the people who need to change their system are not exactly sure about what they want to change in their system. This is the I think this is the most important factor that they need the system analyst here to create their requirement elicitation, because it is a very needed factor before proceeding to redesign a system from a previous one to new one. Definitely we should know what are the things that we need to change here. So, system analyst, what they are gonna do here, they will use some social and analytical skills in prioritizing system specification. They will analyze your system. They will see what are the things that needed to be changed. They will definitely communicate with the team members and all the stakeholders, and they will see the needs of end users and the employees and all the members that are working in the organization and that are the part of basically that business. So most enterprise systems have a lot of requirements. Definitely there are multiple environment requirements that we need to address, but these are frequently constrained due to a lack of resources. This is the major issue that people do face. Like they are not having resources, although they have a good and a clear image of what are the things they needed in their environment, but they are having a few like the lack of resources that is minimizing their overall requirements to be addressed. So different kind of users in an organization have different needs from a system, but a system analyst help to prioritize the user's need. Which one is the user here? User is the end user of the system. Like he could be the end user of the product or the IT team or the software development team, any team that we are working with. The end users need are the main priority of the overall system. We need to address the needs of the end users at first, and definitely it needs to be addressed with the accordance of the available resources. So they will see or they will manage the resources, and then they prioritize the needs of the user, and they then they can gradually address all the needs of the stakeholders with the passage of time. Whenever they can arrange some resources could be uh, like monetary or any other resource that they are needed at time. So this helps to ensure that maximum productivity is obtained from a working system. Definitely if we are having five six seven like requirements to be addressed at the same time, and we are not having the resources that are needed, so what we can do, we will definitely prioritize our requirements, and we can perform the most important factors at first, and then we can gradually work on the other ones as well. It will help us to maximize our productivity one by one or step by step. So here you all need to add a single example of you, like if you are a system analyst and you are going to gather requirements or performing requirement elicitation task, what are the things that you will gather from?
Ma'am, I'm thinking that uh, the problems that users are uh, experiencing, maybe we can gather information and resources about that and redesign it in a given time.
Okay, so what do you think that if you are a system analyst, what are the things that you will give high priority to? If I am a system analyst, I will give priority to the end user's need, like what is the need of the end user at the moment. If there is any error uh, in the working for the end users, I will make sure to address that issue at first. What do you think?
Yes, ma'am. Can I answer?
Yes, sure.
What you said is right. Like the only priority should be users' needs because all other factors will be different as part organization, like quality, cost. It depends on organization, but everywhere the user is the most important. So the first priority should be users' needs.
I have given the priority to the end user's need. Now you need to change the point. Actually, you can take example of any kind of business or any kind of organization that you want to. Just give me the requirements as per your thinking.
So let's say if I am choosing the IT organization IT, then the most important, in my opinion, should be the security and the quality.
Good. Very good. Okay, next, Umar. Okay, so let's move forward to the other step. Stakeholders analysis. Now I am again gonna explain this point and I will ask for your opinions in the end of this point. So, who are the stakeholders? Basically, when it comes to any organizational project or any kind of project that we are working on, all the internal people and the team members who are working with us will involve or affect our overall system's productivity, and all of the people who are linked with us are our stakeholders. Basically, the stakeholder analysis is the process of identifying these people, like who are the basic need of our system before the project begins. Definitely we should know all the people who are concerned with the system redesigning, and they are definitely having some different kind of needs as well. So to make the group of them according to their level of participation, like what are their interest and the influence in the project. There are multiple people who are a part of our team, but sometimes some of the team members are not really interested in the redesigning of the process, and whenever the redesigning of a process begins, they start creating new innovations to the system so that the process may fluctuate and the to disturb the overall process. So in this case, the overall participation from all the stakeholders at the beginning of the project is really needed, because we can get the we as in system analyst can get the experience, and we can see like what are the things they are needed and needing actually, and what are the things they are doing to disturb the overall process. So definitely there are always some good and bad people. So as a system analyst, we have to have a keep an eye on all the members of the team, so that we can have exact uh, like understanding of their needs, and determining how best to involve and communicate each of these stakeholder groups throughout. We can prioritize these people as well. When we have a meeting with these people, with all the team members, we can prioritize their needs and we can easily make their group, like we can prioritize them, like what are the things that the definitely if we are dealing with the CEO, we will prioritize the person who is CEO, because he is the one who is gonna overall manage the project. So we need to prioritize him, then the project manager who is actually gonna do all the process, or definitely his needs also need to be addressed properly and with high priority. So all the things needed to be done carefully. Next, system analysts tend to observe data and facts about an operating business. They use technological techniques in identifying problems and removing unnecessary details so as to enable the fulfillment of real needs from a system. As I have told you, if there is a person who is not interested in the redesigning of the process, they may add on the things that are actually not needed to be addressed at the moment, or we can say that we can like pass these requirements for some time. So if a good system analyst is hired, he will definitely do a deep analysis of the system and the stakeholders, and they will then prioritize, or he can easily share his thoughts with the CEO and the project managers, so that they can have better understanding of what the team members are doing. So it is also helpful for the fulfillment of real needs actually that needs to be addressed at first. So why is this stakeholder analysis needed? Basically, it is needed to enlist the help of key organizational players. Like we can enlist what are the pillars of our team, who will be the main players of our organization in the overall redesigning process. It also helps to gain early alignment among all the stakeholders on goals and plans. Like we can align all the stakeholders, what are the goals they are going to set for them, or we are going to set for them. They will definitely try their harder to achieve them, and overall plans will be created. We can have a proper alignment according to the priorities that we have. We can set uh, with all the team meetings. It also helps to address conflicts and issues early on, because if there are some bad people who are going to disturb the process, we can address them as well before starting the process, so that the process can work smoothly. Okay, so is this clear? Stakeholder analysis is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Good. So, if you are a system analyst, how you will differentiate the people who are a good fit for the companies, or the for the team or redesigning team? How you will differentiate good or bad people? Or we can say that what you will see in the team members.
Ma'am, could you repeat the question?
Okay, if you are a system analyst, what are the things that you will see first in the overall team? Like definitely there is some organization who has hired you as a system analyst, so you need to do the stakeholders analysis. So when you are doing this analysis, what you will see or what you will do to differentiate the good or bad people for the redesigning team? Definitely you are the one who will give them the team members or the required team, so how you will differentiate them?
Ma'am, by identifying stakeholders and their interest in the project.
Yes. Okay, Omar, you have added a good point. Yes, Mujahid, it's also a good point. We can differentiate them. So all of you have added a good point. Rania, I think you have confused the question. Basically, we are not hiring the team. We are already having our stakeholders or the team members who are working with us. Basically, all the team members are sharing their thoughts, and we have to address their requirements as a system analyst. So your task is actually to understand their interest and then prioritize their needs. Like what do you think that the requirements of a member one needs to be addressed first, or the member two needs to be addressed first? This is the thing that you need to give the priority. Okay, hopefully the question is clear now. So let's move forward to our third point. While we are discussing about the things as a system analyst, we need to see the system design process. Yes, Mujahid, definitely. The overall influence of the project on the stakeholders is also a very impactful thing here, because if they are influenced with the project, they will take much interest in the project instead of the other members. So yes, it's also a good point. So, system design process. Basically, it's a process of designing. So, what we need to understand from this point is we need to successfully understand and translate, to do the translation or the understanding of the customer's expectations. Basically, what are the requirements here? The customer or the end user is the one who will be the the one who needs to be addressed first, as we have discussed. So their expectations from the system needs to be clear, and unambiguous quantitative, verifiable, and realizable program requirements. All the requirements that they are giving to us needs to be addressed. Everything needs to be verified first and then performed as per the requirements or the desires of the end users. Then we do the complete and thorough requirements. Definitely, we gather the requirements first. We have discussed already this point in the requirement elicitation as well. We need to document all decisions made during the development of the original design concept. So all the things that we are doing here, we need to document them, because the documentation is the important factor of the process. Or any if we are talking about redesigning, or for if we are talking about creating a new project or new system from scratch, we need to have a proper documentation. It is helpful for the team, it is helpful for the overall organization as well. So visualization of the product in use and looking for missed requirements. Basically, this is also an important factor. If we are having a documentation, we can have all the requirements in hand. But let's suppose we have missed some of the requirements, or a person of our team was not able to explain his needs in advance. Definitely his needs to be addressed, but we definitely, it will disturb our overall process, and when the team will be working on it, they will need to face the difficulty while addressing their needs. So this point also needs to be done in before. So rapid prototyping. Prototyping, basically, it's a kind of term that we can say. We will discuss this term in the coming slides as well. Basically, prototype is a kind of example or depiction of the overall project before doing the actual project. So we can say that it is a depiction of the work that we are going to do. It also helps to understand the needs of the business, because if there is something that is missed in the requirement solicitation, we can get them through the prototyping phase. So design validation is a continuing and iterative process. We need to design all the things iteratively, because if there is something that is not working properly, we need to make the changes before development. So iterative process occurring over the entire life cycle of the system design process. This is needed to be performed over the designing phase. But once the designing phase is done, we need to move to the other phase, that is the development phase. So in the development phase, we cannot address the design, like the issues that were left behind in the design phase. So prototyping is helpful in this way to avoid the misconception or the errors or the issues that can cause the overall working disturbance. So is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's move forward. Now we will discuss the system development methods that we can use in the development of overall system, or we can say that if we are redesigning our system, we can still use these methods as well, and for the new projects as well. So let's begin with the first one. Basically, structured system analysis and design methodology is a one that is working efficiently for the system development processes. It is a set of standards for system analysis and design application. It's a kind of standards like that works for the overall designing process. It uses a formal methodical approach to the analysis, and we can say that the analysis process that we use in this process or the methodology and the design of system information overall all the information and all the analysis that we perform in this methodology is based on the waterfall model. Like everything is working on the flow of waterfall model. Like the steps that we use in the process of waterfall model are also addressed here as well. It has been used by many commercial businesses, definitely the consultants and the educational establishments and the case tool developers. All the people who are working with multiple kind of organization are using this methodology to create or to redesign their uh, system or create their new systems as well. So here we are having some of the characteristics of this method. It is helpful in dividing a project in small modules with well-defined objectives. Basically, why we are using the models in our system development lifecycle? It is because it is helpful for us to to convert the complex problems into the smaller problems and the easier ones, so that we can address them easily and we can get all the objectives of those modules or those small particles of the project easily. And definitely we can perform small particles or small tasks efficiently as compared to the whole project. So useful, it is useful during the requirement specifications and the system designing stage. Definitely when we are dealing with the designing process and the requirements process, we can have this method in our mind so that we can reshape the process, or we can convert all the requirements and the needs as per the requirements of the module. So diagrammatic representation and other useful modeling techniques are also a part of this method. We can have diagram representations are also very helpful in the project management, because they are very easy to understand as compared to the simple text. So simple and easily understood by the clients and the developers, because if we are talking about the clients and the developers, they can easily understand the diagrams. Basically, if I have given you a documentation that is consisting of hundred of pages, and there is another documentation that is consisting of 100 images, you will definitely prefer the 100 images to view them and to get the idea from them, instead of the working on the text based document. Is it true or not? Is there anyone who can say that I like to have the text based documentation? If we are talking about the documentations, I am saying that there are two types of documentations. Like the one that was used previously, what the text-based documentation, that 100 pages of text you need to read, and then you need to create the requirement analysis as a system analyst, or you will prefer the diagram-based documentation that will be consisting of you can say 100 of images that you need to look after and then create your requirements. What you will prefer, text based or diagram based,
I will
Mujahid?
definitely choose diagram based.
Okay, good. So let's move forward with the next point. It helps us performing activities in a sequence. Definitely, if we are having we have divided our big problems into small problems, we can have multiple phases of that problem solving. So we can perform all the activities coming in the sequence and we can easily solve the problem. Then we are having some stages of this process overall. So all the stages of this process are determining the feasibility, investigating the current environment, determining business system options, defining requirements, determining technical system options, creating the logical design, and then creating the physical design. So what are these steps? Basically, first of all, we need to check the feasibility, like what are the things that we are changing will actually work for us or not. Then we will investigate the current environment, like if there is something that will not work in our environment, we definitely cannot amend it into our system. Then determining the business system options, like what are the things that our business actually need. Then defining all the requirements. Definitely we need to have all the requirements in hand. Determining technical system options, we will determine what are the technical options that are needed to be the part of our system. Definitely technical requirements are kind of uh, different requirements that needs to be addressed with more care and attention. So this is written down separately. Creating the logical design, then we will create the design of the overall system, and then we will design the project logically. And we can say this step is the development phase, and in the after this phase we can have our product completely in hand. So is this point is clear, or anything that you are not like clearly understood? You can ask. So you have asked about the determining feasibility. Okay, so the feasibility basically is concerned with the, actually, if you are going to do something, you need to see it is gonna work for you or not. Like, if I want to adapt a new technology to my overall working system, I need to check if my team will be able to perform task on the that technology, or I'll need to hire a new team, because it's a really complex thing. If I am having a new technology or new instrument in my uh, office or the organization, and my team is not able to do the task, I need there are two possibilities: either I need to give them the proper training, or otherwise I need to hire the new team. So both of the things need some time. If I am having time to train my team, so I can adopt that technology or the instrument, whatever I am adapting. If it is not possible, then I need to definitely think of it. So this is what we will determine in the feasibility. Is it clear now? Okay, good. Let's move forward to the SDM. It is an agile methodology basically, and it focuses on a full project life cycle. Like, we can say that it is a detailed project that is starting from the if we can say feasibility, or if we can say requirement elicitation, it will work deep down to the end of the project whenever we will have the final product in our hand. And the success of this model is due to the philosophy that is set for this model, that any project must be aligned to clearly defined strategic goals and focus upon early delivery of real benefits to the business. What is meant by this phrase or the philosophy? Basically, if we are having a project, it must be aligned to clearly defined goals. Like, what are the things that we want from the project? If the goals are clear, and we are having the focus on the delivery of everything before time or on time, then the real benefits are definitely will be with our business. So the business will definitely get the maximum productivity if we are having the clear goals, and then the delivery of every phase or every point is done efficiently. So there are 8 principles of this model. Focus on the business needs. Definitely the needs need to be addressed at first. Everything is delivered on time. You need to collaborate, the overall team need to collaborate. If you are a system analyst and you are performing, or you are using this methodology in creating or recreating the system, you definitely need to collaborate with the team, with the overall team, to get the maximized profitability and overall productivity. You can never compromise on quality, as Mohammed has added this point. And if you are compromising on the quality, definitely the overall process is gonna disturb your productivity. So you need to build incrementally from firm foundations. Like, all the things that are the basic pillar of your organization. If we are talking about the business, the firm foundations are the things that are the core of your business. So you need to create the, you can say that, the priority list that will help you to first address your core points, then you will move to the other ones as well. Develop iteratively. Definitely iterations do help us in solving the process easily. Communicate continuously and clearly. Definitely, if you are communicating with the team and everything is clear to them before moving to the end, before going to the end of the project, they must be known of each and every point of the overall project, and then demonstrate control. You need to have a proper control on demonstration. Like, what are the things that you are demonstrating to them, that to the team, everything needs to be addressed clearly. If you are sharing a prototype that is depicting some really good points and the overall or the final project is not depicting that or is not a part of that project, then it is really harmful for the overall project and for the system analyst as well. So everything needs to be demonstrate properly. Is this clear or any
Yes,
other
ma'am.
thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, it's clear.
Okay, let's move forward. Next, we have agile development method. Agile method basically it refers to the software development approach. Basically, when we are in the we are studying software development life cycle or anything that is the directly linked with the software development, then we talk about the agile methods. Basically, it's we have also discussed this before in the models session, I think as well. So this approach is based on the iterative development, and I have said before this, iterations are really helpful. If you are doing you are like you are dividing your problem into smaller particles and you are performing the task repetitive task in iterations, then you can perform the things very efficiently. Agile methods break tasks into smaller iterations and parts do not directly involve long term planning. Like there is nothing that you are doing in the beginning of program like project and it is directly linked with the end product. No, there is nothing like that. You have the basic steps or the things that you are performing in the early stages, then the stages move forward gradually, and ultimately our the plannings move with the steps or the iterations. The project scope and requirements are laid down at the beginning. Definitely we have said that the requirement analysis is done at the beginning of the project. So plans regarding the number of iteration, the duration and the scope of each iteration are clearly defined in advance. So who will define the number of iterations, duration and scope of each iteration? Yes, Mujahid.
Ma'am, I couldn't understand the question.
This is in front of you. Uh, Plans regarding the number of iteration, duration, and the scope of each iteration are clearly defined in advance. Okay, we need to define all the things in the beginning of the project. So, who will define these things? Like, how many iterations will be the part of project? What is the duration of the project?
Ma'am, the system analyst.
Yes, actually. Basically, the system analyst will help us to create all these things. Good. Okay, so there are some phases of agile method as model as well. We will gather the requirements at first, then we will design the requirements, like what are the things that are coming from the requirements needs to be designed. Then we will do the construction or iteration, like we will create the iterations, like what are the requirements we have designed. We will create the iterations, like what we will do first, then second, then third and fourth. We will create the smaller particles, and then we will once the all the iterations are done, we will do the testing. Definitely if we are talking about the methods, there are some differentiation between the testing phases. Some phases do test after each iterations model. Some models do testing after each iteration. Some of the methods or models do testing in the end of the session. So for the agile models, we will test and we will see the quality of the project, and the quality assurance or the testing analyst will do this task as well, and then we will deploy the overall project in market. Like if the project or the business is for some other people, we will deploy or we will give it to in their hands, and then we will get the feedback will be definitely from for the system analyst. The feedback will be from the organization, from the business, from the developers, and from the end users as well. All of the people who are the part of the team will definitely give the feedback to the system analyst. He will get all the feedbacks, and then he can definitely make his experience more clear. Um, is it clear to you people? All the phases are clear? Okay, so what is the role
Yes,
of
ma'am.
iterations? Like, what do you know about iterations? Yes, it must be Zahid. As I have told each and every team member, definitely, these are the persons like the stakeholders of our team So yes.
Yes, ma'am. Iteration basically means repetition, but in this agile model, it is done to do a task in uh, in repetitions. I mean, like you will do the task and you will see how it is done. Then you will repeat it until you improve the quality and reach to a point.
Very good. And all the tasks are done in the same criteria. Yes, it is good. So let's move forward to the next one, and it is prototyping. Uh, Prototyping basically, I have also discussed it before. Basically, it's a kind of sample or model, or you can say the early release of the product that you are working on. You create this model to test the concept or the process that you are working, so that if there is anything that needs to be changed, or you need to like to make improvements in the to specific part, you can do this. If you have any idea, you need to evaluate. You may have asked yourself, is prototyping the way to go, and why to use it? Basically, many people, if they are system analyst or the people who are working on the requirements, they do think of why we are wasting our time on prototypes and what will be the role of these prototypes. Basically, this is to get the feedback from the clients, from the end users. Basically, if you have not uh, used the prototype to test from the end users, then you can say you can have the feedback of all the stakeholders of the team, so that you can get the feedback and you can make changes if they want to. And it also helps the like the team members to understand their needs are addressed properly, or is there something else that is needed to be the part of the overall system. So we can say that this is an important factor of project development, because it is really helpful. So basically, it's a simple like a process, but how it works is, it's a sample implementation of the system. It provides limited and main functional capabilities of the proposed system. Definitely, everything is addressed in the small or the depiction, but what we need to understand here is all the main functionalities are here, but still there are some things that we can say we just need to understand, that will be the part of our system but is not actually present in there. So the stages of the prototype model are, we will determine our objectives, like what we need, basically requirements. Then we will develop it. Then if we see that there is something not good at the development stage, the developers will see this and they will see if there is anything needs to be changed, then they will refine it and then demonstrate it to the overall team, like the organizational team or the stakeholders. All the people will get it and then they will test it by themselves, like each and every stakeholder will be the part of it and they will test it. Then the after the testing, after getting the feedback, the prototype will be implemented to our real product, and we will get it in hands after the like the positive feedback of the all the stakeholders. So, is there anything that you want to ask from the prototype?
No,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. I have one question. Like
Yes,
the
please.
prototype, is it like how close this prototype should be to the real, like the final product?
Okay. So we can say that I am giving you example. If I am creating a system or I am creating a product, like I am creating a pen, okay, that will be helping a person who is blind to write. Like how the pen will write the things if the person is blind and he cannot see what he wants to actually write and how he is writing. So for the sake of writing, uh, I have creating a prototype. I have used a simple pen and I have used a battery to it, and I have checked like if I can attach my pen with my computer, and whatever the blind person is writing on the paper, even in lines or out of the lines or out of the boundaries of the pages, whatever he wrote, it needs to be noted in the simple text in my computer. Okay, did you get the point?
Yes, ma'am.
I have just created the scenario. Now I have used a simple pen that is not actually designed for the sake of that particular perspective. I have just used a simple pen and some kind of batteries with it that will help me to create the link between the laptop and the pen. And whenever I started writing it down, it is storing the data in my computer. Wherever my computer is placed, definitely it needs to be turned on. So I have used this pen to to show all the people who are working in place with me, or I have found some people who are blind. So I shared this pen with them, and they are using it. I get the feedback from them, and they say that you should also add a cover to this pen. Maybe it is a suggestion from a blind person. So I'll think of it. Definitely, it needs to be the part of that pen as well. So I'll add the refinement to the pen, and I will then again demonstrate the pen to some other blind people. They will use it and they will give me the feedback. Whenever I will see the all the requirements of the people are done, then I will create the actual model of the pen that will be completely covered model, and it will be creating everything efficiently. The model, the look of the overall pen will definitely be uh, completely different from the previous one, but it will be working on the same scenarios. In the previous one, the pen, the batteries, and each and everything was clearly visible by the people, like for definitely for other people. But in the main project, when I have done implementation, everything is covered inside the body, and the pen is covered with the lid, and all the things are looking very efficient and working properly. So this is the difference between the prototype and the actual product. Is it clear, Muhammad?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, our today's objective was to understand or to learn the concept of redesigning process and process development model. Do you think that we have achieved it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can also add your suggestions as well. If there is something that you think like needs to be improved in our sessions, we you people can share here. Okay.
Ma'am, I have a few doubts regarding task 1. I was wanting to clear them.
Task one. Which one?
The one we have to submit before 10th assignment.
Okay, okay. Let's just finish the question answer session of this class, then I will ask your
Okay, ma'am.
questions. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So we are having just two questions for today. You can ask any question regarding this session as well. And if there is nothing, you people need to answer these questions.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to answer the second question.
Yes,
The
please.
methodology is the agile methodology because it is used by most of the people right now,
Very
and
good.
it gives us very efficient and very good results.
Definitely, it is very good. Uma, waterfall model. Today we haven't discussed waterfall model. We have discussed the methodology that use this model, but I am talking about the methodology. You need to name any methodology.
Ma'am, really, stakeholder analysis is needed, so there is no difficulties in the process and everything goes according to the plan.
Yes, good. Very good. Okay, so good for the class now. So what was your question regarding the assignment?
So in activity 1, we have to produce a report, right, which regarding system analysis and design. So there are 3 points which are confusing me. That just say stakeholder analysis, system design process, and requirement elicitation. So what do we have to write about these 3 points?
Okay, so we have discussed these points today, okay? If you are a system analyst, what you will do. But if you are creating the report, definitely you have a complete scenario. Okay, you can search for it, like what are the things that a system analyst can get from a case study or a system. Then you will get multiple other points as well. That will definitely be helpful for you.
Okay, ma'am.
The maximum
So
points that you can cover will be good.
okay, No, no, I'm just trying to understand. Like the first point is explain the role of system analysis and design in systems development.
Yes.
It's quite clear to understand. However, the fourth point is requirements elicitation, stakeholder analysis, and system design process. It's confusing me.
What is confusing? Actually, um, we have discussed even these all these points in today's session. Everything is clear.
We have to explain stakeholder analysis, system
Yes,
design process.
yes, you have to uh do the requirement and let's suppose you are working on requirement analysis or requirement elicitation, okay? So we have a case study of cinemas and the booking systems, okay?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
you have read it. So you will get the requirements that are needed to be changed. They have mentioned what are they expecting from you to make the changes to the system, okay? So you will gather the requirements of them. You will create the list of requirements that are needed to be addressed, and you will write those requirements in your actual file. There is no need of anything else like the explanation of requirement elicitation, and you are going to explain what is the requirement elicitation and what will be the like the stakeholders will do in it or the system analyst will do it. You will just gather the requirements from that case study and you will note down.
Okay, ma'am. Understood.
Okay. Is there anything else?
No, ma'am. That's it.
Okay. Okay, so thank you for today's session. Hopefully everything is clear. Is there anything else you want to ask? You can ask in the coming session as well. And I have given you a very small assignment task as well for the next class. You all need to perform it. Till then, thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz, ma'am.